Welcome back to SReddit Discover channel. What was the creepiest/scariest thing that ever happened while you were alone? Once I was alone in the house and heard an elderly lady say hello in a crackly voice. I froze, freaked out a bit, but then manned up and gave my own crackly hello back, only to hear the same voice again. Long story short, turns out the cat I was babysitting for my friend can mimic human speech, like who the feck knew cats could do that? Here's a bunch of cats demonstrating. My parents' cat sometimes walk around calling for my dad. It's clear as day that she's saying hello. Mel. Father's name is Mel. The first time I spent an extended period of time with cats was when I was babysitting two of my friends. I was never told about the horrifying noises they make when playing at 2 a.m. For a moment I was concerned someone had broken in and was killing them. Wow, I had no idea this was a thing. Now I want a creepy, cuddly hello cat ASAP. My cousin and I went to Dallas together, but he had to stay an extra day for work, so I came back to his house on my own. He lives on top of a hill in a big old house and it was a bit creepy. I was just lounging around when I hear what sounded like some heavy footsteps running a few steps and suddenly stopping. Holy crap. I have a major freak out. Went to check the doors to make sure they were locked. Front door, locked. Side door, locked. Back door. Oh. My God. Not only unlocked but slightly open. I decided to go through the house and found nothing. Closets, under beds, everywhere. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. Footsteps continued every once in a while. I was pretty sure I was going to die that night. Spoiler alert, I didn't. As soon as I saw the back door open I would have left the house, and called the police. No way would I have searched the house. Did you look up? I lived in a few old houses over the years. Sometimes air in a hot water heating system makes banging noises in the pipes. If the pipes are under a wooden floor or behind a plaster and lath wall, the noise can sound like footsteps. This is exactly how sleep paralysis manifested for me the one and only time I experienced it. Typical circumstances: laying in bed, unable to really move, and my bed is right by the open bedroom door. Suddenly I hear footsteps rushing down the hall towards my room, about 4 steps at a time, stopping suddenly, starting again. 0/10 would not recommend. When I was around 11 or so, my siblings and I were all playing hide and seek in my house. Now I know under the bed is the first place you always look, but for whatever reason I decided to hide under my little sister's bed in her dark room. So I get down on the floor and squeeze under and wait for the seeker to come looking for me, and as I am laying there waiting I hear a little girl giggle next to me. I could clearly see I was the only one under the bed and I was the only one in the room, and I shot out from under the bed and told everyone what happened, and that was the end of the game. Wow, rude, she just wanted to play. Similar thing happened to me, except in a closet. I was at a birthday party playing hide and seek, and a couple of us decided to hide in the closet. It was wall length with sliding doors. I went in first and sidled all the way to the opposite end, heard the other girls shimmy inside, then shut the door. We waited. After a few minutes I felt a hand on my back. Not a clothes hanger, but distinctively a human hand. I asked who it was and all the girls said what? From the other end about 4 feet away. Connected air ducts picked up noises from someone hiding in a different room. There was probably a heating vent under the bed or on the wall behind it. We used to do this all the time when I was a kid to scare someone by making ghost noises into the heater vent. Way to ruin what was going to be a fun game, Chris. Heard my name when I was alone in my room one time. Heard it clear as day. Well, according to Reddit you might have carbon monoxide poisoning. I heard that, and in German save me. It came from my closet. It sounded like someone had a boombox in there with a recording. After I turned on all the lights in the house and grabbed a stick, I checked the closet. Nothing there. Nobody else home. I was 14. I swear to God, whenever I would go to Twilight Town in Kingdom Hearts 2, there was a part in the music where it sounded like my mom yelling my name, and I'd go, what? I would like a friend. Maybe he'll do, said the ghost. Hi, Slender Gator. 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning I was in bed petting my very bossy cat, who had pushed my bedroom open a few minutes prior, when I saw my dad. The entry to the kitchen is just that, an entrance, There is no door. I saw him in his oversized black shorts and miscellaneous old t-shirt cross the kitchen entryway. First I thought, why the feck he is not at work, then I realized that he wasn't wearing his glasses, which led me to think he must be sick. So I get up despite my dickhead cat's nasty face and walk into the kitchen to ask him if he is feeling okay. No one was there. No one was home, all the doors were still locked. I wasn't afraid, but turning that corner and expecting to see a person and seeing nothing but a bright empty room was very creepy. Things like this make me wonder so much. Granted, this is Reddit, but I can believe your story. You hear a lot of stuff like this about seeing loved ones who aren't actually your loved ones, and I have to wonder what the paranormal explanation is. I imagine the scientific explanation is a hallucination, but supernaturally speaking, would that being have to be evil to do that? Demons disguise as loved ones. Is your dad dead? No, thank God. My mom is, but Pops is very much alive, annoying and loved. It was so odd. I was raised by my grandmother, and when she passed I continued to live in her house for a time until my family sold it on. One morning I was tidying and heard a creaking in her room. I never went in there once she passed, I just assumed it was in my head. Then following that I heard a coughing noise and it sounded exactly like my grand's. She had a cough I could recognize, I guess from being around her so much. Anyway, that really freaked me out. My mom and aunt had a similar experience. We lived with my grandmother before she died and in her home until my mom and my aunt could find somewhere to live. When she was alive my grandmother stayed up late, 3 to 4 in the morning. And she had a particular step, like she didn't left her feet when marching at home, just kinda slided one foot after the other. After her death my mom and my aunt heard her footstep in the corridor between her bedroom and the living room a few times during the nights. You can't be scared of your grandma. I spoke to the ghost of my great-grandmother on the telephone. I didn't recognize her voice because she had died over 60 years before I was born, but a very elderly-sounding lady called and calmly told me to tell Essie it is time to come home now. I kept telling her she had the wrong number, but she was adamant that I pass along the message. 2 hours later my grandmother's assisted living home called and told us that my grandmother, Esther, had passed away in her sleep. Her mother had died when she was 16, and Essie was my grandmother's childhood nickname. This was 25 years ago, and thinking about it still makes the hair on my neck stand on end. What if that phone call passed through space and time dimension, reaching you in the present world from the past? Still very creepy though. Was this a normal sounding call? Was it staticky? Did she speak in old-time terms or in an overly formal way? It's called instrumental transcommunication. Check it out.